Podcasting from Portland East to Portland West, from Big Pine Key to Pacific Beach, and from San Juan to Guam, this is All Across America. Well, Rob, welcome to the show, and
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for having me by your neighborhood in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And so you're set out to meet 10,000 people?
Yes.
What number am I?
7,224. Hold on.
Okay,
let me check. I don't want to misquote.
Well, you're number 88 for me. So,
okay. There you go.
Yeah, like I said.
You're 26. 7,226.
I like that. 7,220. I grew up on 26 Meadowbrook Lane. So
okay.
I like that. That's a nice number. And 88's a great number, too.
88's great. Yeah. Trying to think of, is there a sports person that I know who has that number? I don't know.
So it's a funny thing because I don't really know how to begin because normally I'm the one guiding the conversation.
Oh, sure.
But in this case, you sent me the calendar invite.
Yeah.
You confirmed beforehand. You're the only person that's ever done that. So.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. People don't show up and then
logistics are like half the battle.
Yeah. So I started this project in November of 2015.
Wow.
And I've probably had over 1,000 cancellations, reschedulings, no shows. So I empathize with people who are scheduling things.
Yeah, 1,000. That's like a pretty high number out of.
Yeah, well, so November 11th will be 10 years since I met the first person.
Wow.
So you figure 100 people a year. It's probably even more than that, to be honest. Yeah.
How many people you meet a day?
I try to meet 4 people every day.
All right.
Usually, the weekends, I'll usually not meet people, maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
But you're actually the third person I'm meeting today.
Wow.
And then I'm catching up with someone after this that I had previously met for dinner. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's full day.
And so, when you sit down with people, how do the conversations normally go? Do you have go-to lines, go-to questions?
We just hang out.
Or is it just...
Yeah, it's about I always think about people's lives like a timeline or the plot of a movie.
Okay.
And so I'm just trying to uncover what that looks like. How has their location evolved over time? How has their supporting cast evolved over time? Their motivations, their dreams, how has that evolved over time?
Okay.
So I'm not really tactical about the way that I talk to people.
Yeah.
I just kind of flow.
Yeah, neither am I. I kind of do the conversation. Are you a movie guy?
I like movies. I'm not super into them, but I like art in general, and I feel like they're one of the best forms of art. So music is probably my biggest art passion.
Number one? All right, who are you into?
I would say my favorite artist is John Bellion. Do you know who he is?
John Bellion?
Bellion, Bellion.
No, I don't know.
So he's got his own music. He did the song Trumpets by Jason Derulo, which was popular 10 years ago.
I know the name Jason Derulo.
He did Monster for Eminem and Rihanna.
Okay.
He did Justin Bieber's Justice album. He's a pop guy. But very, very poppy, and there's not many artists that I know who sound like him.
Okay.
But he's the same age as me. He's very deep into his music too. Yeah. He does making of videos on YouTube. So he's really good at showcasing his passion for it.
Yeah.
But high school, Jack Johnson, Dave Matthews Band, John Mayer, Jason Mraz.
Right.
I love hip hop, Drake, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. Goose is a band I've been really into this year.
I've heard of them.
They're they're similar to Fish, and Fish people would hate.
They would hate that comparison.
Exactly.
But
they're a jam band, rock heavy jam band. And then EDM, I'm into Odessa. They're a DJ duo.
Okay.
So it kind of spans all over. And then Empire of the Sun, that kind of Jungle, Leisure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
34.
34. I got 10 years on you.
Okay, nice.
So you started this when you were 24.
Yeah.
I mean, how have you evolved? How have the conversations evolved? Do you feel like it's changed just in terms of the number or just because you've gotten older and wiser? And
yeah, it's interesting because when I was 24 talking to 34-year-olds, I was talking to people that were your age at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm learning from them what it's like to be a 34-year-old, and I couldn't really connect with it. But now the people that I connect with are people that are at 34 years old. Yeah. So now a lot of the conversations, I don't have a wife or kids. I hope to have both eventually. But all my friends have kids. My sister has 3 kids.
Okay.
So I'm relating to what it's like to have kids or have nephews and nieces.
Right.
Whereas at 24, it's more of like going out to the bars and stuff.
Yeah. It's very different.
But I think that I've just learned so much about life outside of my own experiences. And like I used to meet everyone in person until COVID happened. So then I went virtual. So now I've met people from over 90 countries. Like my first call today was with a woman in Argentina.
Okay.
And yeah, I think just awareness and gratitude are two of the biggest things I've gained through the journey.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it through your work too.
Okay.
It's like so much of life exists outside of our own experiences, and you can't comprehend what you haven't been exposed to.
What do you mean by gratitude?
Like the fact that the first woman I met with today, her dad died when she was 17.
Okay.
And I'm 34 and I still have my dad. So it's like I got
twice as long.
At this point, 17 extra years with my dad than she had and I've met people who are 18 who are only children who lost both their parents already. And it's like they made it to 18 with an immediate family. I've still got my full immediate family at 34. And so without that context, like I would think it's the norm to have my family still.
Sure.
But now it's like a blessing.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Or I went to Penn State University.
Yep.
Got to focus on school when I was at school. Didn't have to focus on a parent battling cancer or something like that. And so you start to understand, for whatever reason, you've been able to avoid all these landmines in your life. And it's like, wow, I just somehow stepped over that one that hit someone else, and for no skill of my own. So a lot of gratitude in that. Yeah.
And you said you have 3 nieces and nephews. Have you had them as guests? I mean, what do you call people you meet?
People I meet, yeah.
People I meet.
No, everyone that I meet is someone that I don't already know.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people were like, "Oh, did you start with family or friends?"
Right.
Because I think a lot of people think like I'm just trying to spend an hour with 10,000 different people, but it was just a way for me to continue meeting new people after school, because I was heavily involved at Penn State.
Okay.
Knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
Very social. Loved getting to know new people.
Yeah.
And then it feels like it just drops off once college stops.
In a way, yeah.
So this became my mechanism or my excuse to continue meeting people.
Gotcha. I mean, that was kind of the same thing for me with COVID. And I mean, again, I'm in a different stage of my life, but I got into my 40s and I started the podcast in 2021.
Okay.
And so COVID had hit, and I have a family, and I have a wife, and I had one son at the time, and now I have 2.
Okay, nice.
But it come to a point in your life where people start to drop off, and not for any reason. Yeah, no animosity. It's just people are far away, and it's just harder to maintain friendships. And you have kids, and my friends had kids, and you just don't see them enough. And I was like, I've always been interested in other people and other things. And so I'm almost reading a book for every single guest I have on my, or the equivalent of. I mean, yesterday I was in New Haven with a high-end home builder.
Okay.
And, he didn't write any books, but I'm checking out his website and his Instagram, and I'm brushing up on all that stuff. And news articles that had written on some of the cool houses that he's constructed and some of the couples that he's constructed for. So for me, it's like I'm learning about something new every time, and every single topic has been pretty much different. And I mean, have you felt that with people, or is it like, do people start to blend together after a while?
I think it's both. It's I'd be interested to hear your, if you search for different topics too, or if you let them naturally come to you, because I'll just meet with anyone who reaches out to me.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them before I sit down with them. So it's cool to uncover, but sometimes their story is very similar to someone that I previously met. Other times it's very different to someone that I previously met. There are certainly people that stick out, because I met a guy a month ago who fell while climbing in Nepal.
Oh, wow.
And fell 210 feet into a crevice of a glacier. And he was down there hanging from his rope for 3 days and 3 nights. And they sent a body recovery mission to go get him, because there's no way he's alive.
Right.
Found him. He was still breathing. They did 4 hours of CPR, resuscitated him, had to have fingers and whatnot amputated. 50% of his skin was grafted.
Yeah.
So it's hard for him to blend in with the other people.
Yeah.
But the themes blend, themes of loss or themes of redemption, or people pursuing their dreams or feeling insecure, feeling pressure from parents, all that stuff, it can blend together. But I like that about it because it's like, okay, you're not the only one.
Right. Well, that's it. I guess you do see themes and stories, and of loss, I think particularly. I mean, clearly that stood out to you because you mentioned it a couple times. How many podcasters have you met with?
Oh, many. Yeah. Well, I've lost track. I've probably done. Because a lot of people that I meet with either have a podcast or they spin up a podcast and then they're like, will you be part of it?
Oh, okay.
So probably over 100 at this point, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you probably been, most of the people that I meet with on my show have not been on a podcast before. Okay. It's their first one ever, which is something I kind of like.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew that you had been on a lot of podcasts, but I like the theme of why you're doing this and the connection and trying to meet with people. How is it like with your, I hate to use this term, but I will, real friends?
It's great. It's it's interesting because a lot of people bring that up.
Yeah.
But I do the project so I meet people at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. every day.
Okay.
And so I'm meeting people while my friends are at work.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't take the time that I would spend with them. And because it has placed this greater emphasis for me on spending time with the people I care about.
Yeah.
I'm like more likely to spend time with them than before the project.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's only enhanced the relationships, I would say. And I was kind of always like that. Like I was the guy in college that my friends would have to stop 5 times on the way to class because I'd be saying hi to people. So they were already annoyed with me in that sense.
Yeah.
I was just more of the same.
So this was kind of a natural progression. So you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert?
Extrovert.
Okay.
I say I'm a reserved extrovert because I'm not like the center of attention, life of the party type. I'm content with observing and like speaking when spoken to.
Okay.
But I have no problem in being in a room of people where I only know a couple people. I go to many events by myself and yeah.
It's better that way sometimes. It often is. I mean, I like seeing music on my own sometimes simply because, particularly if it's something that may not be crowd-pleasing kind of music and you're not responsible for somebody else's enjoyment or entertainment. You're just like, all right, I'm just going to chill and I'm going to zone out to the music and I don't need to worry if, hey, you digging you're all right? You want to leave it separate?
It's a skill too. I think everyone should be comfortable with going out by themselves.
And no, people are not. People are not.
Yeah. Well, I will say like I don't know if I did that much before the project, but I would meet people who were like, oh yeah, I go to concerts all the time. And it kind of gave me the permission and confidence to do so.
Yeah,
so
it is. Like, you know what it is? It's like, you're right. It's permission. It is confidence. You have to have a lot of confidence, I think, to be on your own. I mean, I also have a wedding ring. So people would be like, all right, married. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Maybe. I don't know. I never paid attention to wedding rings. But speaking of that, I mean, have you had any romantic encounters with people that you've met with?
Yeah, I bet. I mean, there was a girl that I went out with. Well, we met on a Monday morning and then we were kind of talking about dating through our hour together and then we went out on a date that night.
Wow. All right.
And because she was kind of like, oh, I'm moving to this area. She was from the other side of the country.
Yeah.
And she was like, if I move, we should go out. And I was like, let's go out while you're here because she was only in town for a week for work. And then we met up that Thursday and got coffee. But then COVID happened, and then that fizzled out.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, there were a couple. There was just recently a girl that I met with, and we've been kind of keeping in touch. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Good. All right. I mean, I like to see. I mean, and I guess that's the thing. Is like, all right, so you meet with 10,000 people. You know, like you've thought of that, I'm sure. Like, all right, what happens at number 10,000? And then where do you go from there?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it happened when I got to like 1,000 or 5,000, the milestones, people like 5,000, like you have to have a party for halfway there and bring everyone together. And they say the same thing for 10, like you should have a big party and bring everyone together.
I think you should.
Logistically, it'd be hard to do because you could do like virtual
Philadelphia
Zoom.
Coliseum.
Yeah. Have to fly some people in from other countries. But,
well, I mean, they'd be responsible for their own air travel, but you would provide the refreshments. And
right, yeah. But, yeah, I think an event would be cool, but for me, it's so much the journey, not the destination. That internally, I will feel complete when I do it. I don't need it to be like a big celebration at the end.
Yeah.
people think like, oh, you should have like a celebrity or whoever's president at the time or whatever, which for me, the way I think about it is if people are interested to see who that person is, I want to make it someone who could use the light, not someone who already has it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The 1,000th person was a little 5-year-old boy with Down syndrome.
Wow.
His mom reached out to me.
Cool.
And I just thought that was cool. Like, the 5,000th was a girl who beat cancer 3 times. So also super cool, like meaningful to me.
Yeah, more meaningful story than an actor.
Yeah, and so now, for context, I started in November 2015. I was working at a tech startup at the time.
Yeah.
And then that startup was acquired 8 months later. So I jumped into this full time in June of 2016.
Did you get any?
Sadly, no.
No.
Yeah, just lost my job.
Man.
I actually looked back at it. I think I could have gotten $4,000 because I just looked back at my stock options like within the last couple months. I probably should have done that in 2016. And
but it wouldn't have made you a millionaire many times.
Right.
Though. It wasn't one of those.
It wasn't life-changing.
Okay.
But just jumped into it full time. And then I thought that I was going to do like social media partnerships or whatever as the interest in the project grew. But I didn't want to sacrifice the authenticity of what I was doing. So I never really pushed into that area. And then I met a keynote speaker in 2019. And she was like, you could go into this industry. You've got a story to share. You have traditional media.
Oh.
So that's how I support myself now.
Okay.
So last week, for example, in Monday, I was speaking in Vegas. And Tuesday, I was speaking in Dallas. On Wednesday, I was speaking in New York City.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you have like a speaker's bureau. You have an agent. How does that work?
Both. Like, I have a manager that I work with.
Okay.
I've only had her for 2 years, though.
Yeah.
And we're like very much like hand in hand. It's not like she'll bring me all the stuff. It's a 50-50 relationship.
Sure.
And then I work also with speaking bureaus. So the gig that I did on Monday was through a speaker's bureau. Actually, this guy, Seth, whose cousin Laura I met in 2019 for my project, and she made an introduction for me.
Nice. Okay.
And but Tuesday, for example, they found me through Google AI, like recommended human connection speakers.
Really?
Wednesday, they found me because I was on Michael Smerconish's radio show.
Okay, yes.
And I was on his radio show because I did a talk and someone called into the show and they were like, all this stuff.
Speakers. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Human connection. I didn't even. So what are your talks? What are your talks about? Like, what do you have a set thing? Do you do a slideshow?
I have slides. It's a lot of the narrative of why I got into this journey.
Yeah.
Kind of the transition of how could I change my life by being more intentional about meeting with the people around me, to understanding through that journey that I also had the power to help other people change their lives by making connections for them or being a resource for them.
Okay.
So it's kind of like because I talk about it in my talk, but people in Germany, Brazil, Canada, India, Ethiopia, who've all started their own journeys of connection because they heard about mine.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool. But also I teach people how to get to know each other on a deeper level, just thinking of the categories that they can talk through and thinking about people's lives like a timeline.
Yeah.
And I'll break them out into pairs with people that they don't know.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's interesting because the one on Monday, it was 900 meeting planners. And the feedback that I got was like, oh, it made every handshake and hello on the showroom floor feel that much more meaningful. And it's like, oh, it's interesting.
Okay.
I think oftentimes at these events, people are so the business version of themselves.
Yes.
And make them crack that open a little bit and show the human side. And I'm not someone who's like a corporate trainer, like, all right, now let's talk about the learnings we got from each other. I'm like, just chat with each other. I don't care what you learn. And
so, I mean, I guess that was my question. How so do you get them to crack into the human side? Is it just conversation?
So I call it the friend framework.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just family and relationships, industry, entertainment, and needs and dreams. So
needs and dreams. Okay.
How's your family evolved over time? What was your education path into your career path?
Right.
Who are you outside of work? Like, what are the routine things that you do when you're not working?
Right.
What are your dreams for the future, and what do you need to get there?
Yeah.
And I think it's because I prime them with my own story of
Right.
I did this for no particular reason, and it led to all these really fun experiences.
Right.
That they're like in that mindset instead of what's the transactional business thing that I can do here?
Reciprocal self-disclosure. Have you heard that term?
No.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So I'm a fundraiser. That's
Okay.
my full-time job, and that's how I got into it. I was a radio DJ in college. That's why I asked you about the music question. I'm a big music guy, and so fundraising, I'm meeting with people one-on-one, obviously without the microphones. People often of very high net worth and multiple times, and I was the face of Rutgers University on the West Coast. So I was meeting people in I've met people in 25 states across the country.
Okay.
And who were supporters of the organizations that I work for, whether humanitarian, environmental, whether Rutgers University, to ask them to give more, like let's say a scholarship for first generation college students. And so that kind of brought together the DJ background and the fundraising background. And I heard this expression, reciprocal self-disclosure, which is a very high-minded concept, a simple way of just saying, and I was good at it. And some people are way too business-like. And you're asking people to reveal about their wealth, about their family planning, about their end-of-life planning when they're thinking of their estates, because a lot of people make very generous plan gifts to an organization in their will. So when they pass away, I'm leaving this amount of money to Rutgers University to create a scholarship for first-generation college students. And so, but if they ask you questions and you act like you're in the witness protection program, it's going to put up a block.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always somebody that was obviously professional about it and not talking shop, complaining about my boss or whatever. But I was always somebody that I was an open book. And I realized why that worked after kind of hearing that line. And so I think what you're doing by going through this friend matrix and talking about yourself gives people the comfort to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it reminds me of the phrase vulnerability breeds vulnerability.
Yes. Or, the other thing, I don't know if there's a term for it, there probably is, but, people reveal something to you and it's a little off the wall. It's a little outside of their comfort zone. And if you're like, oh, they're done. If you're like, okay. And you allow you say, oh, tell me more. Oh, and then and they keep going and you're not, you don't react to it in a way that seems perplexed. They're going to keep offering themselves to you. And I'm sure you've seen this in your conversation and maybe unknowingly did those things. And it's the same for me. It was like, that's what I did. And all of a sudden I was like, yeah, this is working in a way. And I always felt that I was very good at what I did and I understood a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I feel that's one of the skills that I've picked up in terms of my relatability with people is like I'll ask someone about their family and they're like, oh, well, my family's kind of like a mixed bag or there's a lot going on with them. And I'm like, trust me, I've heard everything under the sun. So nothing surprises me anymore. And I think because they understand that I'm not going to feel a certain way, I'm not going to feel like they should be ashamed of their family or their past or whatever.
Yeah.
They do open up, and I like creating that comfort for people.
Yep. So what's you talked about a timeline, talked about family. What's your timeline? What's your life been like?
So November will be 10 years. I think I have 5 more years to go before this is done.
That's crazy. All right. So you'll be on the cusp of 40.
Yeah. So my unofficial goal is to finish by the time I'm 40.
Okay.
So if I'm 40 years old, 11 months and 28 days, I'm still 40. So basically I have to meet like 40 people a month from here on out if I want to do that.
That's not a problem at all.
No, it shouldn't be. And it's surprisingly, it's harder to find people to meet now than it was 8 years ago, even though the project is much more established now. Don't ask me why. I think it's part to do with the oversaturation of social media. And back then, my project was a little more unique in terms of the other projects. But now it's like everyone's trading a cup of sand for a Tesla, or like TikTok. It's day 40 of changing my life in this way. And so I think I just kind of blend into all the other things out there, which is why I'm so thankful for speaking, because I can succeed in that space through what I can teach people, not through how many people are liking a post of mine or following my thing.
Right.
But yeah, hope to get like married within the next 5 years.
Okay.
Ideally.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. But then when the project is done, I think I want to invest more time into the speaking, because now I would probably cap myself at like 40 to 50 gigs a year. I have speaker friends that are speaking 150 times a year.
That's a lot of travel.
Yeah.
And,
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's a little too much, but the way I think about life post project is like, okay, I got a family of my own.
Yeah.
I'm speaking twice a month, and I'm teaching human connection as a course to first year students at a local university.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just helping them learn from each other's backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you were, I'm sure you've thought about this course. I'm sure you've got almost a syllabus, if not on paper in your mind. Like what are the key principles in terms of human connection
that I would have them do?
Yeah.
I think it's like active listening, sitting back and letting people tell you who they are instead of you assuming who they are.
Yeah.
Like giving people space to reveal their story to you. And also kind of that sense of creating a space of comfort for people. So there's little like nuanced things. Like if you were to say something like, I had Aaron Judge on my podcast or whatever. I think a lot of people are like, oh, Aaron Judge is extremely interesting. Let me ask more about that. But in my mind, it's like, you are the most interesting person to me right now, so I want to keep the focus on you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I've been able to do throughout the journey.
Yeah.
Or if someone has some scandalous part of their story, like the natural instinct is to want to learn more about that.
Yes.
And I've been good at refraining myself from diving in and just staying at that level. And if they want to take me there, they'll take me there.
Okay.
If not, so things like that. But the way I would imagine it working is, say you have like 30 students in a class. That's 15 pairs every class, and then just rotating every time. And each student, I don't know how many classes are in a semester. Let's say there's 30. Each student is meeting 30 of their classmates, whatever the numbers are.
Yeah.
And so you're telling your story 30 different times. And every time you tell it, you get better at it. So when you go sophomore year to do an interview and they're saying, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can walk you through my story.
Yeah.
A lot of people stumble on those things because no one's ever asked them about themselves.
That's
I'm
true,
sure you see that through your stuff too. Like if it's people's first time on a podcast, they're probably overthinking what they're talking about, or maybe some people are natural with it. But yeah, and then just hearing other people's stories and realizing like, oh, this person grew up in a one-parent household. They're on scholarship or they're working full-time to put themselves through school. I got 2-parent household. So all that stuff, I think you learn just through the act of talking to other people. Like it's not
definitely
necessarily something I would have to teach them. I'm just kind of like the facilitator.
Yeah. It's so much different through social media. Yeah, it's, what is it? The online disinhibition effect where, you could be completely anonymous and say all sorts of mean stuff to people. And I'm sure you've noticed how friendly and nice people are in reality when you're talking to them one-on-one. They automatically have this filter, but it's not a filter. Are we unfiltered on social media, or are we just not our natural selves in a way? I don't know how to describe it.
Sure.
But it's a fakeness in a way, because we are more likely to just listen to somebody and maybe learn in real life. I don't know. When somebody's looking in the eye, it's a lot harder to be like, you're evil. I don't know.
That's true. I love the saying, it's hard to hate up close.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's interesting to like social media, or when people are on camera for things. It's like, like a photon acts differently when it's being observed than when it's not.
Right. Okay.
And I think that's very true.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Humans as well. But yeah, there's a lot of dynamics. That's why I only meet people one-on-one, because I don't want to meet you in relation to your spouse, right?
Right.
Because it changes the dynamic a little bit. Like I want to meet you as you, because you'll probably tell me a different story. Or, not that it's going to be different, but
or they're going to be looking for approval.
Exactly.
Or,
yeah. So That's why I like to just get the one-on-one.
I think so too. I did one podcast where I had a brother and sister who were in the same gospel group together.
Okay.
And I only had 2 microphones, so I had to move it over to Sheila and then back to Eddie.
Okay. Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
But I would, and that way it worked because they were brother and sister and they were talking about a theme.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to learn something about a person, you got to separate them from everybody else. And we're getting back to the extroverted introverted thing. I'm introverted.
Okay.
I'm an extroverted introvert, and I love meeting with people one-on-one. Put me in a cocktail party at some gala. Oh, let me refresh my drink. See you never. I hate that stuff. And I remember sitting down with a friend of mine in a bar years ago and just saying how much maybe I was being a little bit too candid, but I was like, oh, I love just sitting down with somebody one-on-one. But you know what? It's true. I much prefer that over, I mean, I do love, a group of people, but it's just it's more banter. It's not, the one-on-one thing is something I think that's pretty special.
Yeah. So you were a radio DJ in college?
Yeah.
Where at?
SUNY Binghamton. I went to University of Glasgow in Scotland for graduate school. So
cool.
I DJ'd in Scotland as well. So
what were the hit songs when you were DJing?
I was never into I don't know. I always I'm all over the place. So I did a lot of funk and soul. So I was doing stuff from the 60s and 70s. So there was a big scene around that. But particularly in Glasgow, there was an electronic scene that I wasn't DJing the electronic stuff. I would go to some of those shows, but I also had a public affairs show which dealt with music of Appalachia. So I'm a big fan of, the country music and fiddle and old time mountain music as it's known.
Okay.
But I'm into black gospel, as I mentioned, blues. Been listening to a lot of jazz. That's kind of that's my thing. Recently, and then I play slide guitar as well. Cool. I just love the sound, regardless of where it comes from. So to answer your question, yeah, I'm all over the place, and I was all over the place, and that's what I liked about college radio is it's free form. You could do whatever you want, and that's always been my thing. Is that, and that I think inflects on the podcast as well because, I'm meeting you. Yesterday I met with a home builder. I'm meeting with somebody who wrote a book on the Grateful Dead sound system. The debate coach for the University of Michigan is after that. A quilter, a prepper, and a bush pilot in Alaska.
Okay.
Those are my next, those are the next 8 to 10 podcasts, and none of them have anything to do with each other.
So how do you find your people?
Interests. Some people will say, oh, you should check out this guy, or just reading in the paper, the New York Times, or I see something on TV, or my wife is like, you should do something like this. And I'm like, sure, let's do it. And yeah, so it's just stuff that I'm interested in. And I've met people who've been in The Economist, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, you name it.
What did you study in college?
English environmental science. And my English piece was as a journalist. So, that's was my original thinking, was becoming a journalist. But I think journalism it's not as respected as it once was, and for good reason. I think as we've seen in the last 5 years, people have moved away from some of the concept of the mainstream journalism. And look, I read the New York Times and the Washington Post and all the above, but there were some big stories that were missed, and I think new media can pick up on things in a way that maybe mainstream journalism doesn't.
Yeah.
Then again, I just had one of the longest-serving reporters in New York Times history on the show a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
But he reports on UFOs. So,
okay.
So
yeah, interesting.
So, yeah, it's but that's what keeps me interested. It's just always about learning. That's I think the theme for me is learning about new people, learning about their stories, learning about new things, new interests.
Sure. You have been out of school for like 20 years?
Yeah, 20. I have 2 master's degrees.
Okay.
So I went to NYU. I have a master's in public administration from NYU Wagner School of Public Service.
Okay.
So as I said, I work in the humanitarian group, and I've been a nonprofit professional for almost 20 years now. Yeah.
Okay. That's
but my first I graduated college 2000, and then I was in Glasgow, graduated that 2003. So yeah, you could say 20 years, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. With the little, that was more of like a night program. I mean, I got the full master's degree, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then was the nonprofit world the dream? Well, I guess
I don't know. You know, that's the thing is like, you know what my dream was? I remember when I was in college and I had said, I want to have friends all over the country. I remember that. And before that, when I was a kid, I really liked the Wonder Bread. They still make Wonder Bread, you know, the white bread.
Yeah.
And the guy would drive around the Wonder Bread truck and he had both the doors open. Of course, they had both the doors open because they don't have air conditioning.
Sure.
But he would just be driving around everywhere and not stuck at a desk. And so maybe it was just, but that was something that, but there was no job to go around the country and having friends everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But funny that you asked that because here I am in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And yesterday I was in New Haven, and this is my 10th state. So, but I visited by Zoom and, you know, other on the computer, you could say, with 40 states.
Okay.
Guam,
nice.
American Samoa, Northern Marianas Island, Wake Island.
Nice.
So been all literally from coast to coast and beyond.
Yeah.
And, yeah. It's been good. I mean, it's
so the nice, we are disconnected through technology and stuff, but it's not technology's fault. Like it's a tool and you can use it to be connected too. And
right.
Having, so I like my project. I always say it's just an excuse to sit down with people that I don't already know. Having a podcast is the same exact thing.
Same thing. I mean, I'll read a book, and in a couple instances, I have books on my bookshelf that came out 10, in one case, maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And I'm like, I want to meet that author. And because I have a podcast, I could do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, anyone can do it too.
It's crazy. So what's it? I mean, do you feel though that there's a disconnect? Do you feel like you learn more, connect more with a person in person versus doing the Zoom thing?
I think it's pretty equal through both.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think in person is nice. You get the vibe of the music and the space that you're in. You get the body language a little bit more.
Sure.
But yeah. I've had very emotional conversations with people through Zoom that have left a lasting imprint on me.
Okay.
Like we've gotten to deep levels with each other. Yeah. So I don't know. I've always I think it is the expectation to think in person is always better than virtual.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like the content that we discuss or the bond that's formed, I feel like virtual does a pretty good job too.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, the benefit of the virtual is like you were saying, like it's really hard to get to Guam, but if you can have a conversation with someone there, you can learn about, like this week I was talking to a girl in the Netherlands and she was telling me about, I don't know the Netherlands way of saying it, but it's a Black Cross. It's a music festival, but a motocross festival as well. And it's sponsored by Grolsch, the beer. Yeah. Which is the wrong pronunciation as to how she was saying it.
Right. But, no, it's a very hard language, Dutch.
Yeah. Then I was talking to a girl in Sweden who was telling me that there's a subculture within their music right now called EPA Tractor, which EPA Tractor is like a small tractor that apparently 15-year-olds you're able to drive it when you're 15 in Sweden.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's turned into this subculture similar to like rap here. But yeah, those things I would have never known about if I was waiting for in person, you know?
Do you find women approach it differently than men, the conversations?
Nothing's not notably.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if nothing comes to mind. I don't know if I look for it. I think, again, the stereotype would probably be that they're more open.
Yes, that would be. I mean, but that is the thing. I mean, one of the things they're talking about why men tend to live or women live longer than men is because they have those connections, which loneliness is a huge contributing factor
Sure.
in not to say premature death, but earlier death.
Yeah.
And men have more trouble making connections than women do. I mean, I just think of my wife and, I met with this mom and I met with it's.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's the same for guys. I mean, it can be, but in general, I don't think it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe it's just the environment in which I'm meeting these men too, that it is so laid back that I think they, again, feel comfortable with opening up.
Yeah. I mean, they're also self-selecting too.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, like I've met people who are very difficult at holding a conversation, and you would think it'd be like all extroverts or people who enjoy conversation.
Yeah.
I've met people who give me one-word answers and they never ask a question.
Right.
But then they'll tell me like, I'm really socially anxious and I thought this be a good way to push my comfort zone.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I respect you.
That's good. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, how do you deal with those kind of like difficult conversations or, I don't know, uncomfortable moments?
It's like playing a game of Jenga. Like, you're just trying to hit on the topic that you're going to be able to pull out and put on top.
Yeah.
And you might poke with one and it goes nowhere. And so there was a guy that I talked with and we really weren't getting anywhere with each other in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we talked about scuba diving. I don't even know how we got on this topic. This dude loves scuba diving. We talked the next 45 minutes about scuba diving. And it's like he was so excited about it. He lit up around it, told me all the stories that he has.
Yeah.
So it's like a little treasure hunt. You got to find the topic because that's the thing I get frustrated with. I'm like, I want to shake him and be like, I know your story is in you.
Yeah.
And I need you to, it's not like you have nothing to you.
That's right. Everybody does. That's very true. But it's just trying to pull it out of them. Sometimes it's harder than others.
Overthinking it. And it's like, let's chill for a second and then just tell me what it is.
I hate canned questions and I don't do it on the I mean, I have like a set, I have a set list. I have like themes and I want to make sure I touch those topics, but I don't have like chat GPT questions. But one of those things people want to ask is like the first question is always, oh, what do you do for a living? Which I think is the lamest question. I heard something recently. What have you done recently? What's exciting you right now? Which I think is a great way to uncover, that sort of thing. I mean, what's the reverse like when you have somebody that's just like a chatterbox that's just like, bam, and they're off to the races?
I just sit back and listen. Yeah, that has happened many times. And
I bet, yeah.
I'll check my watch and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I got to run. And then sometimes they'll be like, oh, we should meet up again sometime. Like, I'd love to hear about you. I'm like, well, you could have asked a question, but it goes into what people think the experience is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And with your podcast or with your work, it's like you can probably see how people misunderstand what you're doing or what your why is. And like, I've never called what I've done interviewing. I never said.
I don't either. I use the term conversation or visit.
Yeah, because like I just want to hang out with you, and I want it to be a two-way street. And I'll send people an article beforehand that says this is not an interview.
Okay.
And I'll be on podcasts where they'll be like, oh, he's interviewed 7,000 people. And I'll say, oh, I'm not interviewing people. It's just a conversation.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, of course. And then a minute later, they're like, you should interview so-and-so. But it's just because people are so used to putting things into a box.
Well, that's it. It's hard to conceptualize for people that I'm just having a conversation. It's like, no, it must be an interview.
Right. Or they're so unused to non-agenda driven connection that like, there has to be some type of...
there's got to be a reason behind it. I mean, I think that's also why I prefer people who haven't been on a podcast before because, often they're promoting, and that's why I try to avoid the people on the book tour that I'm number 25, whatever it may be. But yeah, it is hard that there isn't an agenda. I mean, that's the thing is like, here we are in, this coffee shop and, sometimes people see two people together and they're always like trying to figure out like, excuse me, like, what's the connection? Like, just a business meeting? Is this a job interview? Have you ever like felt like people are like trying to suss out and trying to figure you out?
Oh, for me, it's been interesting because I mean, so many people have thought I've been on dates with people, which like you can't blame them. Like,
no, fair enough. Yeah.
because the conversations are very similar to what a first date would be anyways.
Right.
I've had times where I'll get up with people afterwards because I always take a picture with everyone.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll get up and ask someone at a nearby table, like, hey, can you take a picture for us?
Yeah.
And like they assume that we're friends for years.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Wow.
oh, I had no idea. Like I overheard you guys just sound like you were catching up.
Wow.
Which is good. That's what I want it to be.
That's exactly what you want. Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be funny when, I mean, I remember sitting at Temple University. It's not far from here.
Yeah.
Having a conversation with a girl, and like a stranger just came up and he was like, oh, you two are going to get married someday. I was like, probably not. But that's the joy of the in-person stuff though, is you open yourself up to those third parties.
Yeah.
But yeah, when people take pictures, they'll be like, oh, are you guys visiting? Or I'm just like, oh, just friends.
Yeah.
I never take the time to explain it.
Yeah. Ever turn anyone down?
For the project?
Yeah.
There was only one guy who reached out that I just didn't answer him because he said that he was the Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ, which did make me want to meet with him. I was very interested to hear, but he reached out on Facebook, and then on his page when I went there, it just had like, oh, these two groups of people shouldn't be married. They different religions, different races, all this. I was like, that's really not someone I want to give a voice to.
Yeah.
But usually I'll meet with anyone, and I've met with people who have differing political beliefs than me and differing
that's good.
religious beliefs.
Yeah.
And we always have great conversation.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is like, an issue nowadays is people put people in a box where they're like,
oh, definitely.
If you voted this way or you believe this way, I absolutely can't talk to you. And
yeah.
I'm like, I talk to these people and I'm like, oh, I could see why you would have this view on this.
Right.
And then to me, they're like, oh, yeah, I could see why you have this view on this. And you break the walls down a little bit instead of digging deeper in.
Have you heard of this nonprofit called Braver Angels?
I have.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, they reached out to me.
Really?
Yeah. I forget if they wanted me to do like a speaking thing or whatever, but I have pointed people in their direction.
Yeah, which I think is terrific. And I mean, that's what it's all about. Particularly though, face to face, or at least not replying to somebody's comment on some social media forum.
Yeah, seems like they're doing like a healthier version of the Jubilee videos.
I haven't seen those. What's that all about?
Oh, really? The Jubilee stuff?
No.
It'll be like one conservative versus 20 liberals.
Okay.
And it's super entertaining, but it's a bunch of like gotcha moments, or like then people argue in the comments afterwards, like, oh, this person destroyed this person, and then that person's posting to their own social media, like they slammed this person or whatever. Yeah. Entertaining, frustrating. I don't really think it's productive.
So. Yeah. I mean, have your just views on certain things changed having met so many people over the years? Or I mean, it's hard to say because you've also gotten older, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that everyone in what they believe is just the culmination of all the life experiences that they have been through.
Yeah.
I think people mistakenly evaluate other people's circumstances through their own experiences.
Oh, definitely.
And I saw people do that with me, like when I had no money and I literally wasn't spending on anything. Like, this is my watch, my brother got me as a gift when I crossed 5,000 people. This shirt is from college. I think it's from Kohl's. My jeans are from Gap because I got them with a gift card. I had reached out to Gap to say, like, can we partner together? And they said no, but here's a few $100s in gift cards.
All right.
Yeah, so shout out to Gap. Thank you. But so I was being really resourceful, but people would be like, oh, how are you meeting all these people? Like, and you don't have a job. Like, your parents are taking care of you or this or that. And I think that they would imagine I had their spending habits with my lifestyle. It's just like, I lived a very simple lifestyle. I think about that for other people. Like, what are the experiences that you have been through that have led you to believe what you believe today? And I think a lot of people miss that exploration. They hear something and they shut down right away.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about senior. We're talking about people living long. I mean, seniors are also a group that can be very lonely, almost an epidemic. Do you meet with a lot of older people, or?
I have met with several older people.
Okay.
All of my grandparents have passed now. I lost my dad's dad, in April.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he was a good man. He made it to 98.
Wow,
and then
God bless
lost
him.
his wife, my grandma, 4 years prior. She was 94. So
Wow.
when they were living in their senior living community together, my pop-up was like the mayor, and he was like introducing me to all of the other people that lived there. So I met a guy who was Wilt Chamberlain's high school basketball coach. I met a guy who was a World War II pilot, and he trained other pilots.
Yeah.
And the only reason he didn't go overseas to fight was, I guess, the guy in charge of him didn't morally feel like he could choose who went and who stayed. So he said he drank a bottle of whiskey, put everyone's names in a hat, and had his 2-year-old kid pick out which names went and which ones stayed. And it's like, it's crazy that a 2-year-old is deciding people's fate.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Could have made the picks.
But it sounds like older folks have not been a large percentage of the people you've met.
It's probably like if you look at a bell curve.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the mean average, whatever, is in the middle, like probably 24 to 44.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it probably tails out from there.
Yeah. Youngest
is the 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a 5-year-old boy. I tried to, my youngest Lucas and my oldest Leo, I had on them. I did every year. I try and put them up, do a little podcast, and just talk about their interests and all that. So
that's cool.
Last year it didn't work so well. They're like, no.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple years where I was able to get them in there.
You said they're 5 and 7?
5 and 8 now.
Oh, 5 and 8.
Yeah. So that was my guess. 000 was my oldest son, Leo. And I guess he was 3 or 4 at the time. He was game, but
okay,
it's harder. It's gotten harder these days. But we talked for 40 minutes about, I brought some props. You know?
Yeah. That's neat. Nice to get into the mind of a child.
Oldest?
How old was the oldest? 100.
Wow.
Yeah. She just passed away a couple of months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I had a donor in San Diego who was over 100 at the time. He's a retired dentist. And I had a flight to catch. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to show up at this meeting 45 minutes early because he's 100 years old and he's not doing anything. I just interrupt, the Price is Right or something.
Mm-hmm.
I interrupted his swimming. And so we were sitting on like 2 couches in like the foyer of the community that he lived in. And he's basically wearing a bathrobe. And after that, I was like, do not assume that just because somebody's 100 years old, they're
just sitting around doing nothing.
No, he walked. That's the one thing that I've learned for older people who are very healthy is they walk a lot.
Yeah.
They walk a lot.
Have you ever seen Grandma Joy's road trip on Instagram?
Grandma Joy's road trip? No.
So I met her grandson, Brad, at a speaker boot camp. Mm-hmm. And then he introduced me to his grandma. She's 95 years old now.
Wow.
When she was 85, like they had been estranged. They reconnected and went on a camping trip together.
Okay.
And it led to them going to every national park in the United States together over the last 10 years.
Wow.
And now like they're still going, they've gone to like Antarctica and parks in Africa. And so she's living one of her best decades at 85 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now 95.
Hey, if you can, and there was a woman in New Jersey who just ran, oldest person, I think she was 80, ran an Ironman triathlon in Hawaii.
That's crazy.
25-mile run, 2-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride.
Yeah. I'm training for a half marathon right now.
Okay.
I got to run 10 miles tomorrow. And
man.
Doubtful.
When is it?
November 22nd, I think, or the 21st.
Yeah, I've been, I'm going to do it next year. The half marathon in my town is tomorrow. I'm not quite ready.
Yeah.
But I do 5 miles. Like I do 5 miles 3 days a week. So.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever done a half?
No.
Oh, you could totally do it if you're doing 5 miles.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I mean, I would want to run the whole time though. That's the thing.
You 100% could. You can run 5 miles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I do 5 miles 3 days a week. Yeah,
Easily.
Really?
Yeah. I did the full marathon last year.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And I haven't run since like high school.
Wow.
And so I just followed the program. Nike Run Club has an 18-week training program.
Okay. Yeah.
And you just do the runs and you get up to the...
Right.
My favorite part about the experience was the doubt each week and overcoming that doubt.
Yeah.
And then what was 10 miles used to be scary is now like, oh, it's no problem.
Right. I mean, I was like a mile and a half and then 2.8 and then 4 and then 5. I broke my tibia last year. That was crazy.
Okay.
And it just was unexpected. And I did my own internet research and I'm like, oh yeah, I have bursitis. And I was wrong. And it was interesting in that, one, it was unexpected. It was just like a stress fracture, but it didn't come from, my doctor was like, were you running bare? Like, what? How did this possibly happen? But it was really interesting because I was literally crawling up the steps and I understood why elderly people want to live in a 1-story ranch house in Florida because you get to a certain point in your life and you're not mobile like that. And for me, it was a real wake up call to be like, I needed crutches. I couldn't move. Yeah. And so in the last year, I started back and my doctor was like, oh, you can go back in November. And I wasn't keen on her. And I went back in January and the mile and a half. And now I'm doing 5 and I've got a good pace. And I'm like, I've hiked the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, nice.
The whole thing.
That's awesome.
So I've done 30-mile days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so one part of me is like, I've kind of done that. The other part of me is like, well, if you've hiked, why not do it on a road? So we'll see.
I bet you could do it if you really wanted to in 3 months from now. 4 months for sure.
Yeah, I mean...
14 weeks, rather.
I think I could certainly do a half marathon if it was like a couple months, but it was just too soon. So,
yeah.
But, 2025 has been an interesting year because I've done the podcast every single week.
Okay.
Which is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain that rhythm. And, I mean, as you know, and so you said 8, 10, you're doing 4 a day, 20 a week.
Ideally.
But then you're traveling.
Yeah. And then people will cancel. And so it shakes out to like 15 a week, maybe like 12 to 18 a week.
What's that like when people cancel? It drives me crazy when people flake. I can't. That's hard. That's the hardest part.
It's frustrating in the moment, but I think early on I built it into my expectations.
Smart. Yeah.
So now I'll use that time to rest, or there's always other things to be done for speaking.
Yeah.
Like right now, because I spoke last week, I have a lot of people that I want to email from my events who are like offering places that I could speak elsewhere.
Oh, great. Yeah.
But I want to make sure I get in touch with them. So
yeah,
I'm like, okay, let me block some time off in my calendar because I'll just schedule the meetings. And then I'll be like, oh, I don't have any time.
Trying to work it around that. Yeah.
So it can be frustrating. Less so now. Like if someone doesn't show up for a Zoom call, it's not the biggest deal.
Right.
I lived in LA for a year and a half and like driving an hour to downtown LA and someone doesn't show. It's a little more difficult. Yeah.
Are you going to stay in Philadelphia?
I have no plans to leave. I mean, my family's in the suburbs.
Okay.
My parents, my sister, my brother lives in New York City.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a 15-minute Uber ride from the airport.
Nice.
And I travel often.
Yeah.
And like the cost of living is good here.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. Not like New York.
Yeah. So I have and all my friends are in the suburbs with their families. So they're anchored out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like being amidst the Philly energy with the sports teams and stuff.
There's a lot of Philly energy. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
People from outside Philadelphia may call it something else, but...
Yeah. Oftentimes people are like, you're the nicest Philly guy. Like, you're different than I would have expected you to be.
Well, Rob, how can people find out more about you?
My Instagram account is Rob's 10K Friends. So that's where I keep track of everyone, where everyone can see our picture together from today.
Yeah.
And then my speaker website is just roblawless.com.
roblawless.com.
Yeah. And that's all like the professional side of me. But those are really like the two main places. And then I'm on LinkedIn. I've been more active there recently. But the journey is on Instagram.
Great. All right. Well, Rob, it's been a pleasure visiting with you, and
thank you.
Wish you the best on the journey.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All Across America is produced by me, Marco Vig, in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Visit us on Instagram at All Across America. Check out our website, allacrossamerica.com. There's an interactive map with all our episodes, and there's a Contact Us page where you can send your reactions, guest ideas, and suggestions. So get in touch, stay connected. To me, that's what podcasting is all about. Thanks for listening.